Let's begin with Batman Deadpool. This is the DC version of this multi-company crossover event with the main title written by Grant Morrison. So you've got a main story by Grant, which is Batman and Deadpool. You've then got a number of subsequent tales, which is Johnny Constantine meeting up with Doctor Strange. You've got Nightwing and Wolverine, Laura Kinsey, and a few others. Crap. Just crap. That's a lie. Be positive, Peter. Be positive. Some of the standalone tales are okay. I particularly enjoyed the Nightwing and Wolverine one. I thought that was really well done. I liked the way they kind of incorporated the fact that these two characters are under the shadow of mentors, kind of big characters. I thought that was really, really nice. The John Constantine Doctor Strange one was okay. The Hulk Harley Quinn one, not a bloody clue what all that was about. Didn't like that at all. Didn't like the writing style. Just didn't out for us. But the main tale. So that's what we came here to read, wasn't it? Batman versus Deadpool by Grant Morrison. Now, I have a love-hate kind of a relationship with Grant Morrison. Some of his work I think is absolutely stellar. Some of his work I just cannot get my head around. He's either too clever for me, or more often than not, I think Grant writes under the influence of substances, and I just don't get it. He's too kind of off the planet for us. That's exactly what I got with this Batman Deadpool tale. It made no bloody sense to us at all. Things jumped around left, right, and centre. The dialogue felt awful. The entire premise of the story was that two cosmic entities in the Marvel Universe and the DC Universe basically get it on. Giggity giggity, and because of that, the universes collide. You get basically Batman and Deadpool trying to fight Cassandra Nova to get this MacGuffin item, which is a cosmic typewriter, which is being controlled by what I'm assuming is Grant Morrison. And basically, whatever he writes in the cosmic typewriter can rewrite universes and history. You do get a brief kind of couple of splash pages where Batman turns into Darklaw, which is a combination of Batman and Wolverine, which I quite liked. But overall, I'm sad to say the story did absolutely nout for us. And I think this is really worrying because this is the second of these big crossover events. We've not had a Marvel DC crossover book in a long, long time, and both books have left me flat. Maybe I'm just being miserable. Let us know what you guys think in the comments, please. I think this is pretty tragic that we've waited this long for a huge company crossover, and this is what we're getting out of it. Rather disappointing, to say the least. Not particularly excited about what comes next because of this, I'm afraid to say. It's not floated me boat, but please let us know what you guys think. Next, we've got this One World Under Doom issue 9. This is the final part in the One World Under Doom multi-issue crossover event that's been going on for months and months and months. Now, I have to say, full disclaimer, I haven't read every single part of this, and I've certainly not read all of the side events and the different books attached to it. I have read a couple, Red Hulk being one of them, which I really enjoyed. I read last issue of this, and I've read this issue, obviously, just to see how things wrap up. Yeah, interesting. So last issue, they made a huge point of spelling out for it that Doom's next spell couldn't be undone. Nothing could ever undo it. It was a fixed time event, and basically there was nothing in the world or the planets that could change that. And he goes and accidentally bumps off Valerie, his goddaughter, and it's left with shit. Nothing can change that, so Valerie is now dead. Well, within 2 pages of this issue, guess what? We've changed it, and she's back alive. So I was a little bit irritated by that. Basically, the entire crux of this is Doom sacrifices everything, his power, his life, everything he's gained over the last couple of years to resurrect Valerie, basically. Which is a nice touch. It's a redeeming arc for Doom, I guess. By the end of the issue, I should have probably said spoilers. By the end of the issue, because he sacrificed himself for Valerie, he dies. He disappears. But we know he's not dead, and he's coming back because we've got Doomsday coming out and all the rest of it. But he does disappear. And he leaves Reed Richards, the sole kind of executive of his last will and Testament, which is going to spill out into the next couple of series, I guess. I find it hard to judge this one because I don't want to be unfair, because like I say, I haven't read the entire series. What I would say is the last 2 issues I did read were entertaining. I'll pick this up in trade paperback and I will give it a go, I think. I will give it a go. But yeah, it was all right. It was all right. Next, we've got Predator Badlands. Now, this is a prequel to the Predator Badlands movie. Let us know in the comments, guys, if you've seen the Badlands movie. I really enjoyed it. This is set before that with the young Predator in a mission to basically try and get his father's favour. He goes to an alien planet, to a downed spacecraft, and he's got to try and save the power core and bring it back to his dad. It's very by the numbers. Its artwork's not bad. I didn't mind it. It's Predator fighting alien monsters and bugs and creatures like that. I didn't mind this. I didn't mind this at all. It doesn't need to be read to give you anything to watch the movie. It's literally just a standalone tale, really. But it is worth a read if you get the opportunity. I quite enjoyed it. I wouldn't rush out to buy this one, but if you get the chance, give it a flick through. Next, keeping with Predator, we've got Predator Kills the Marvel Universe. This is part 4 of this event book. I've been really enjoying this. It's interesting seeing how the Predators are dispatching with some of the Marvel heavy hitters. In this issue, Thor is killed. So basically they shoot him with a gravity bullet, which sinks him to the centre of the earth, and he presumably dies in the molten lava. I'm not sure that would work. Can't Thor fly through suns and things like that? Anyway, by the by. So yeah, Thor gets bumped off, and a couple of other heroes bite the bullet, but we're starting to see the resistance now. We've got this Weapon X Predator kind of hybrid thing, which is going out to hunt people down, which is quite interesting. I liked that element. This has been a decent little series. Great artwork. I'm enjoying the art style of it, and the storytelling isn't bad at all. Moving on. We've got Exquisite Corpses, issue number 7. This is by James Tynion. I've been enjoying this, but there is no doubt that it's starting to kind of run its course a little bit. It feels a little bit drawn out, but I am still enjoying it. I have to say, I am still enjoying it. The artwork is pretty good. It is variable at times in terms of stuff happens, and I'm not quite sure what's happened to make it go on like that. But overall, this is an interesting little series. Absolutely would love to see this as a TV series. It lends itself to a weekly TV show, I think. I'm interested in the characters. Quite keen to see who got killed in this issue because it's left a little bit ambiguous. Overall, decent little series. Well worth reading if you get the opportunity. We've then got He-Man, Masters of the Universe, The Sword of Flaws. This is by Tim Seeley. The artwork I quite enjoy. I'm hankering for a decent He-Man tale. We've got a new He-Man series launching shortly, so I'm hoping that that's going to be very, very good. But this one's not been too bad. In essence, a new power sword has emerged from Eternia, and everybody's clamouring to try and get it. When the heroes and the villains go seeking the sword, it awakens some of the old gods from Preternia, I think, and have a bit of a battle with them. Yeah, not bad. There's a bit of a weird bit with Skeletor and Evelyn, which is vaguely sexual, which kind of threw us a little bit. But yeah, overall, decent little book, well worth picking up. We've then got this one by Rodney Barnes. This is by Oni Press. This is Crownsville. I was hoping to read this a little while ago, but it's taken a few weeks to come out, a bit delayed, I think. This is an interesting story. Excuse me. This is following a couple of different individuals. A guy who's just got a job as a security guard in this dilapidated, kind of closed down hospital. A reporter on the beat, and also a police detective. And all three of the tales are kind of intermingling. And basically it's about this hospital which has been experimenting on black children. And you don't really know what's going on in the first issue. It's quite unclear. But basically the ghosts of these children who've been experimented on are starting to haunt the building, and are starting to kind of make themselves known. First issue was really interesting. I did enjoy it a lot. I love Rodney's work. artwork in this is spot on. I mean, some of the imagery there is really, really creepy. So I'll definitely be reading on with this one. Again, it's a good little book if you can pick it up. We've then got Transformers 26, really issue 2 in the new Robert Kirkman era with Dan Mora on artwork. This is just beautiful to look at. The art style is stunning. The colour work is amazing. And I'm enjoying the tale. I kind of lost my way a little bit with Transformers, but I'm back in. I've picked up a bit of enthusiasm for it. This story basically tells the tale of how one of the aircraft-based, I think it's Thundercracker, aircraft-based Transformers has been incorporated in Teltran 1, and they're trying to separate him to save his life. Great artwork, interesting story, worth reading at the moment. I'll continue to read until I get bored with it, basically. We've got a relaunch of Nova. This is Nova Centurion, issue number 1, spilling out of the recent Cosmic multi-book event. This picks up the tale with Richard Rider back in the Nova helm. And it's kind of, I feel like this has jumped back 10 years to an older Nova series that I remembered and really enjoyed, where Nova has basically got all of the Nova Corps and the World Mind in his helmet. So he's the sole Nova, with all of the embodiment of all of the Nova Force and all of the Nova powers. And I quite enjoy the dynamic. So the world mind is chatting to him in his helmet and giving him advice and guidance and stuff like that. A new element to this is that the world mind needs power, and power costs money. So he's kind of having to hire himself out as a mercenary, which is quite interesting. Art style I'm liking. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. It's got us hooked. I love the cosmic stuff, so I will be picking up this and continuing to read this one. This was shite. So this was Capes by Robert Kirkman. This one totally threw us. I thought this was a new ongoing series in the Invincible universe. Read through it, and it felt really tired and old. Felt like a book from 10-15 years ago. And lo and behold, it was a book from 10-15 years ago, because literally they've just recoloured it and put it back out. The plan for this book is to re-release all of the old material with new colours, and then when it gets to issue 7, it'll continue as a new series with new writing. Didn't like this at all. Didn't like this at all. This was basically, it's like a superhero team that are paid to protect the city. The dialogue felt old. The writing just didn't work. There's a real weird page, which I'm presuming is supposed to be tongue-in-cheek, but it's incredibly sexist. Yeah, just didn't like it. I'll not be reading on, and I'll not particularly be excited to read on when it hits issue 7 and it gets to new material. I think this is a one that should have stayed in the past for me. Everything Dead and Dying, my contender for Book of the Year. This is just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. If you like your zombies, this is a book to read. Basic premise of this is that a zombie-esque virus has taken over the world, but this one chap is immune for some reason. Well, a number of people are immune, but he's immune. And he's had basically, I don't want to say a breakdown, but basically he's decided he can't go on living without his family. So his husband and his daughter, who are both dead and zombies, he's basically living with, and he's just going about his normal world. He's feeding them, he's feeding the zombie cows and all this kind of stuff, and he's keeping them all ticking along nicely, just living in his house with him. And then it's all kicked off. So people have come and visited, and they've ended up shooting his husband. This issue again is just heart-wrenching. There's some scenes with his daughter, which if you're a father, you just want to burst into tears, I think. And it ends really, really sadly. So yeah, he's living with the zombies, he's living with the town folk who he's not killing. Basically, the premise is, unlike Walking Dead and things like that, is if you keep the zombies well fed, so they haven't got that need for hunger all the time, they just go about the normal lives in kind of a memory, muscle memory kind of way. So they go to their own jobs and they kind of bumble around and stuff because they've not got that drive to eat. And that's because he's feeding them all the time and keeping them going. So yeah, great series, really, really cool book. I'd recommend you just pick this one up and trade paperback when it comes out. Final Boss by Tyler Kirkman. Bollocks. Just hated this. So I'm sure lots of people will enjoy it. Great art style, I guess. This just didn't do it for me at all. I thought the writing was awful. Basically, the story is about a guy during World War II who finds a mystic island and gets special powers. His son then goes hunting for the island, and then his son is this main character, this final boss character. It's played out very much like a video game, in that he's kind of battling different people in an arena, and if he beats them he gets a power up. It kind of doesn't make any sense. So it feels like it's in a real world kind of setting, and then all of a sudden they're popping heads and slicing people in half with chains and stuff like that. The dialogue's just awful. They tell you every couple of pages that the guy's granddad is found an island and his dad is lost now hunting for the island, and he's got to go and find him. Then 2 pages later it tells you exactly the same thing, and then it tells you exactly the same thing again. So I don't know. I don't know a lot about Tyler. I know he's an artist, I think. I don't know that I've read much of his work. Maybe he's not a established writer. I don't know. Tell us in the comments if I'm wrong. But this didn't do out for me at all. This, on the other hand, by Simon, was absolutely phenomenal. No Man's Land, issue number 3. This just gets better and better every single issue. This is made for Netflix or a movie. It's basically like a Cold War crime noir kind of thing. Dead body found in between on the ice bridge in between Russia and America, and a Russian agent and an American agent have been dispatched to try and work out what the hell's gone on. Lots of mythology, lots of Bible connotations. Loving it. I don't want to say much because I don't want to give away what's happening. The artwork is spectacular, as it always is by one man's art. Really intriguing story. Cannot wait to get the next issue and find out what's going on. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. We've then got this, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Godzilla. This is an interesting little book. It's kind of set in the animated kind of universe, I would imagine. It feels very old school when you're reading it. Basically, the kaijus are well-known enemies of the Foot Clan, and are coming back to kind of attack. Krang is desperate to try and get a bit of Godzilla's blood, so he's managed to get a hold of this mutagen, can't say it, to create his own version of monsters. We've not had much Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle battling kaijus yet. This issue ends with King Ghidorah in New York, so we'll probably get something next issue. It was colourful, it was fun. Not a one I'll rush to pick up, but it was a decent little read. This is probably the one I'll get in a trade paperback later on so I can read it all in one go and just flick through. Then we've got this. This is Strange Tales issue number 2. Bit of an interesting Marvel book. This tells the story of the Green Goblin getting into Doctor Strange's sanctum and nicking some mystical bits and bobs. And in the meantime, he has a bit of a fight with Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, whatever she's called these days. And he hits her with some prismatic weapon, which makes her invisible. It was all right. I don't think this is written for me. This is more of a younger person comic. I think the art style was nice and cartoony, very vibrant colours. This is probably the one that's easy pick up for the kids out there, I think. So yeah, overall, not bad. I don't know that I'm going to read on, but I'll see.